fourth or above, fourth or above, fourth or above, fourth or above, fourth or above. Overtake, overtake, go, go, go. Let's go, Alonso. 1, 2, 3. Off the line. Go, go, go. Sixth position. Yes, yes, yes. Go, oh, oh. Overtake everyone. And it's a good start for us for so far. I'm hoping Räikkönen and Ricciardo take each other out in that corner. That would be absolutely amazing if that happened. I don't think it's going to happen. We're actually under attack from the Force India of Hulkenberg. How is that possible? But we need to keep attacking. We need to keep going into super overtake mode for the beginning of this race until we get clear of both these cars ahead of us, until we're able to pass them, which might be a little bit more tricky than we first thought because it is Ricciardo and it is Räikkönen. They're both very good pedalers in their cars, and we're just crawling up behind the two cars. They've got a bit of a, I don't know, what do you want to say, a bit of a car park ahead of us. Struggling at the moment. Let's get this in a fast forward mode. We'll get Button to ease up a little bit. We're being blocked hard by Räikkönen. Let us pass, mate. Let us pass. It's my job on the line here. You don't understand, do you? Fifth position. Go around on the inside. Yeah, you should have the inside here. He's going to hold up against him. Nope, he makes it stick. That's the old pepper. Up in a fourth position would be perfect here if we can just catch Räikkönen. Do we need wets? Nah, it's just going to get dry. You only need to settle it for one lap, champ. Just stick it out there. Keep driving as you are. And push that gap away from Räikkönen. Hopefully Räikkönen gets passed by Hulkenberg. That would be absolutely amazing as well, to hold him back from overtaking us. But our real anchor here is to get in front of Ricciardo. And that might be a lot more difficult than it looks. We might also have to wind back the engine into high mode because we've actually pushed a big gap between Räikkönen and us. That's a really good job. Who's absolutely into conserve mode as well. We're up to 78% versus Ricciardo's 81%. And we're still pushing despite having one less lap of fuel at the moment, which is absolutely insane, but that's what we need to do. We need to keep in touch with the car ahead of us and ultimately bypass him, while making sure that we're not going to get screwed by this weather. And we really need a safety car of some sort, and guess what? We hoped, we thought, we prayed, and guess what? Romain Grosjean, you are the man. Thank you so much for crashing your car. Let's get everyone to go back into low mode. And I'm going to wait until we go around one more time to get behind that safety car in order to stop, because the reality of the situation is this. We want to push these tyres as much as they possibly can go, and even though we're going to be following a safety car, it actually chews up the tyres ever so slightly by 1 or 2 or 3%. If we can get behind the safety car and do one more lap and come in, we're not going to lose that many spots. I'd imagine we're going to go back into 6th or 7th position because that's how long a pit stop would take. But ultimately, we're going to have that 1 or 2% tyre tread left. So this is played right into our strategy. This is what we needed. A Romain Grosjean crash coming to the rescue. At last, he's good for something. But we're starting to reel back in that fuel. Remember at the start we pushed into super overtake mode. At the start we're down by 0.76 seconds of fuel. And he's gonna be the call. Are we gonna pit now? One lap left. I think we're gonna pit now. I think we can do it. I think we can go to intermediates. To a fast stop. Where are we gonna come out? Estimated position 6th. Do we want to fix anything? Rear wing? I think we'll fix the rear wing. Why not? It's not going to add much time to us, but it's a bit of a fix that we won't have to fix our next pit stop. So in we go. Hoping for the best right here. Come on. Please do a good job for us. Fernando Alonso jumps down. We might also pit Button as well. Get him on the same strategy. Balanced pit. Nothing to fix. Just get him to come in and roll around. It's a great stop for repairing the wing. It's a good stop for the tyres. He's actually going to come out in 7th position. So we have lost 2 positions, sorry, by pitting then. That is the perfect strategy for us. Button's also going to lose 1 position, and we have fresh tyres compared to the rest of the field. That's because they are probably going to want to do 1 stop strategy. Well, now we can push these tyres a bit more, and that gives us a bit more play time. The fact of the matter is this: we can probably go to a lap 22, 23 and then pit. There's no way these other guys are going to be able to pit or last another 5 to 6 laps. It's just not possible. So the idea here is at 99%, remember, like I said, we pitted then purely because we wanted to do 1 less lap. That's going to come into favour, trust me. You don't know how much of an advantage we need over everyone else. Safety car is heading in. We're going to go into complete overtake mode just to get by. just to get by the Force India. And once we're by, we're going to go back into medium mode because we don't need to keep pushing. As for Button, you can go back into medium mode as well. We just want to carefully watch what happens here. I'm not too worried about following behind. Where is Verstappen? How is Verstappen in 12th position? Is that out? Isn't he supposed to be the wonder kid when it comes to wets? We're currently in 6th position, trailing close behind Ricciardo and Räikkönen. And I'm happy to go back into complete conserve mode. There is no need for us to race these guys. It was just about getting ahead of Hulkenberg. Once we got clear of Hulkenberg, I'm okay for us to conserve fuel. Because these guys will have to stop in a couple of laps. And that's when we're going to overlap them. So let's go into medium mode. Let's just keep pushing, keep doing what we're doing. If we get close up behind him again, we will go back into conserve mode. We can probably push these tyres a little bit because they are in the really cold tyre temperature range, so pushing them will bring up the heat a little bit more and hopefully bring up the performance versus our reliability or durability, I should say. So this is going to be a great stop. Let's go up into fast ×2. Button kicking around. He's going to have excess fuel as well, so once he gets in a bit of a gap, we're going to push him as well. The main thing is we're just watching that gap to Hulkenberg. It's 3 seconds. It's 2 seconds down into Ricciardo now, but we need to bring back that fuel load that we had. How far are we going to be able to get? I'm hoping lap 22. We've used about 7% on that last lap. That was actually a really doozy of a lap for us. How's everyone else's tyres? 39% versus 39%, 37, 37, 44%, and Button has gotten by the cars ahead. You know what else? We don't want another safety car. Once this has happened, we don't want another safety car. Let's go back into neutral mode. Button has overtaken Magnussen for 14th position. He's gotten... he's actually been able to defend that position. He's back on the attack now. He's able to make it squeeze. Go into high mode. Make it happen. Get a bit of a gap away from him now. And how's that gap up to Ricciardo? 3 seconds now. Ricciardo is pushing though. That's something to note. Remember, if we were both on the same strategy, like if we had neutral, the reality is these guys would be about 1 to 2 seconds faster than us in their natural element. So the fact of the matter is this, we're doing a good job by keeping up this distance. We might just go into high mode just to put a little bit more pressure on these guys ahead. We have fuel that's come back to us. That's a really good job by us by conserving earlier, and the fact that the safety car let us catch back up to a certain degree. But it looks like the rain is here to stay for a little bit. We're down to 70% tyre tread now. The tyres have not heated up yet. That's a little bit of a thing to worry about. I'm surprised they haven't heated up. How far are these guys, or do these guys think they're going to be able to go on the tyres that they're currently on? We're lapping at least 1 second slower than everyone ahead of us, if not 2 seconds, because we aren't pushing the car. I don't think these guys are going to be able to do a one-stop strategy. There's no way that's possible. And I'm looking at that potentially thinking that there might be a bit of fuel, a bit of a dry spill coming up. Jenson Button trying to overtake Massa for 13th position. Seems to be doing an okay job out there at the moment. He's in 64%. We're now getting back onto the bumper of the cars ahead of us. I'm surprised by that. What has happened here? Are they starting to slow down? Yes, they are. Let's go into complete low mode. We don't want to get up behind them that fast. It's because their tyre degradation, let's go into a much slower mode there. Tyre degradation is starting to eat them alive while we're catching and catching and catching. Let's go back into conserve mode because we don't want to waste any tyre or any fuel load while we're chasing up behind them. Surely these guys are going to have to pit now. What's the pit strategy? Vettel comes in for tyres. No way. He might be able to do one-stop strategy. Everyone else is going to come in. They're going to have to double stack. So who's that? Is that Rosberg who's having to double stack? Yes, he is. Is Button going to be able to pass these guys? No, he isn't. So Alonso's up in a second position. He's following Ricciardo at the moment, who should struggle even more on those tyres. And the gap back to third position, wow, this might be our race to win at the moment. The gap back to third position is 15 seconds, but Vettel has absolutely lit up those tyres straight away. He knows that he needs to get that position back. The track might get dry in a couple of laps or so. And it looks like Ricciardo's trying to push that car as much as he possibly can while we're chasing him. Our last lap was a 140. He did a 142, so at least 1.5 seconds faster. Button now up into 10th position, followed closely behind by Kvyat, who needs to pit himself. So that is worked in our favour quite significantly. Now, the fact of the matter is this. Are these other guys going to be able to do a one-stop strategy? No, because look at that. Lap 22, lap 21, lap 22 is when everyone's going to have to come into the pits because it's looking like it's going to have to dry it. And there goes Ricciardo into his pits, and that's going to work phenomenal for us. So let's go back into medium mode. How fast is the guys behind us catching? It is still a 10-second gap. This is our race, not to necessarily lose, but to lose in terms of our job for 4th position or above. Perfect window of the way it's worked so far. Button still has excess fuel. We're not going to overlap Button, so that's just excess fuel by 0.6, not by 1.6 as it usually is. Jenson Button overtakes 2 drivers while they're in the pits. That's the announcement that they've made. He's up into 8th position at 47%. He's at the same percentage that Alonso is. Remember, Button has an attribute that gives him +2 adaptability when he's on intermediate tyres, called likes changeability conditions. I thrive on the unknown, quote. And we're going to be able to go at least 2 more laps on these tyres. Look at the tyre temperatures. I can't push those tyres. It's going to eat them up just as fast. But we're slowly starting to get onto the back of Massa now and starting to lap. Look at Vettel. He's been able to pull that gap by 5 seconds. He's lapping about 4 seconds faster. But the gap back to Ricciardo is even more. And he's pushing that car. He's pushing that car to complete oblivion. And we might just want to go into high mode because we don't want to battle the guys behind us too much. We want to keep that fuel load exactly where it needs to be. And Button's now fighting with Nico Hulkenberg. So he's up in a 7th. That is the best result for Button thus far. How's that track going? It is starting to get drier and drier out there, and the dryness is here to stay. So these guys are not going to be able to do the one stop. And if they stay on the one stop and go out on the drier tires, it's going to completely destroy their car, I reckon. And their lap times. Their lap times would be probably like 20 seconds slower. But they are going about 2 seconds faster. Button now into 8th position. That's okay. That's a good job by him thus far. He's now in a bit of a battle pack there. Everyone else catching back up on those more fresher tyres. What is the track doing? So we should be able to do one more lap with the current load that we're on. How's everyone else? That's the important guy behind us, Daniil Ricciardo. Currently pushing as much as he possibly can. We're going to go back into conserve mode ourselves. Everyone else is, despite the fact that the I think because it's just drying up. I think that must be the go here. But we're now kicking off into our next lap, and we want to go one more lap. If we can do one more lap, we're going to be in the lead with these guys. And is that a problem for Sebastian Vettel? Let's slow it down. That is a mechanical issue for Sebastian Vettel. So something's happening with Vettel's car as well. Hamilton just behind. So is Ricciardo. Rosberg even further behind because he had to double stack. So we're in a really healthy position at the moment. Even Alonso's saying it's starting to dry a little bit now. Do we want to pit very shortly? We want to pit the next lap. That's the go. We're going to go into medium mode. We're actually going to come into the pits one stop ahead of Vettel, who's got that mechanical issue. He's all the way up behind us. He's going to completely ghost through that other car. We don't want to battle him. Just go on by. Don't battle us, please, Seb. Just go beyond us. It doesn't matter. Go around us. Do what you have to do. And we're going to pit both of our drivers now. And he's just going to sit behind us. Everyone else is going to get really close. We're going to issue a command to go into the pits now. Soft tyres. We're going to have to anyway. That's what we'd have to do. Balance stop. And everything looks really ordinary. If we pit and we do a 6.4 second stop, that's not going to be good for us. It's down to 42%. We've only 7 laps to go once we cross the line. Let's risk it for the biscuit. Balance stop. I'm happy to do that. We're going to actually pit while we're in the lead. Phenomenal stuff here by Alonso. Doing an absolute amazing job. He's going to come into the pits. No one else is going to do it. No one else is going to come into the pits just yet. And we couldn't stay out there even if we wanted to. I'm hoping that the track dries out very fast. Is anyone else going to pit with us? Ricciardo pits as well. He's actually going to come out ahead because we've got a really bad pit stop. A 6-second slow stop for tyres. I can't believe that. And that means that Ricciardo's going to come out ahead. Rosberg comes out behind us as well, but he's going to be just as fast as anyone else around us. That is 6 seconds that we've lost. Where is Button? Button, we're going to have to pit you as well. Soft tyres, pit strategy balanced. I don't want to fix anything. We're going to just fix his rear wing. It's really stuffed at the moment. That is terrible for us. We're just in 4th position. I'm hoping that the guys ahead of us are going much slower because of the fact that they are going around. Their race pace is picked up by 1.4 seconds. I can't believe that. But the reality is, that stop has screwed us. That stop screwed us. 6-second penalty for how much slower it was just then. Where is Rosberg in relation to us? He is only 8 seconds behind and gaining pretty rapidly at the moment. He's pushing those tyres. I'm not happy to push those tyres just yet. We might just go into push mode for as long as we can. But is he pushing the engine? No. Everyone else seems to be in the conserve mode. Because we were that far ahead, ooh, we're going to come out into 3rd position. So we're ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Behind Hamilton. We would have been in front of Hamilton had we not have had that blow up. But what do? We did a balanced stop, but we lost about 6 or 7 seconds. So what do? A complete conservative stop and lose 2 seconds? It is worth it to some degree, but that was a complete joke. I'm hoping Vettel's car breaks down. If Vettel's car breaks down, that reassures our position because Räikkönen should not be able to... Wow, that is huge! Vettel has retired with a mechanical issue. I can't believe that. Hopefully he holds the cars up behind us. We're in 3rd position. This might be our first podium as well. We have to really play conservative into those tyres. Hopefully Vettel holds up a couple of cars. Is he going to hold up Räikkönen? He's in 6th, but no, he's not really going to hold up Räikkönen. That's a bit of a silly ploy from us. Ricciardo does his fastest lap just then. So everyone else is just going to start to go faster and faster now as we hit this stride of the race. What is the gap back to Räikkönen? All that matters now is the gap back to Räikkönen, because Räikkönen is the guy to beat. Rosberg might catch us, he might get by us just as quickly. I'm not worried about that. Fortunately, Ricciardo was able to get by on that pit stop. He's up into 70% of that tyre tread already, so his tyres are starting to get eaten up already. That is amazingly fast for those guys. But the reality is, they're all into a more conservative engine mode, or they were at least, because I believe we were that far ahead. And the AI said to themselves, we need to start pushing. So let's start to push these cars a little bit. Let's monitor these times. We were 2 seconds slower than Rosberg on that last lap. We've now done a 1:33, so we've even gone slower. We can start to put the car into high mode, push those engine a little bit more. And how is Rosberg going? He does a 1:32, so does Räikkönen. So they're not that much faster, 1 second faster. Nothing to worry about though. They are completely pushing their cars as much as they can. I'm hoping that they fade later on in the race. This could be our first ever podium. We've just set our fastest second sector. And we are getting caught. I can visually see the gap decreasing. How's Button going on the strategy at the moment? He's still pushing along. He's getting up behind. Who is that behind him? Oh, in front of him now. I'm not worried about that battle. The battle that matters to us right now is these guys. That last lap, Rosberg was 2 seconds faster, but Räikkönen was 1 second slower. I'm happy to let Rosberg pass. We need to watch that fuel usage as well. We've just got enough fuel. Let's put it into high mode for a little bit longer. How's the park condition? Everything's starting to look a bit shaky. And as for Button up in a 10th position. So both cars into the top 10. We've put a bit of a gap on Carlos Sainz where we're pushing away now. And it looks like Daniil Kvyat has also retired. So a lot of cars retiring now in 13th position. That's not going to matter. Hopefully he doesn't hold us up. We want to go straight by him without much of an issue. We can start to push those tyres as well because we've only got 1 lap to go. We can actually put Button into complete attack mode. We go straight through. And here's the critical part of the race. Let's go back into medium mode while we're pushing away from Rosberg. We're going to keep on pushing because we are that close away. This could be our first ever podium for Alonso going into the last lap. We're monitoring the fuel usage as well. We've got Button on the same strategy. This is the last lap. He's got enough tyres to start to push that car as much as he possibly can. What is the gap? The gap is 2 seconds. It might be enough. It might be enough to hold it up. He's down to 30% tyre tread, but he's really starting to push back. The tyre engine mode for him is the complete push mode. Ours is not. We're down to 26%. We're going to get onto the podium for the first ever time. Thank you to those circumstances. Alonso posting his time past the line. Button now into 10th position. Absolutely amazing stuff here at the Silverstone GP. Button not getting lapped here. That is good stuff. So Button definitely going to get 10th position because everyone else has been forced to finish the race because they got lapped basically. And we're now being trailed despite the fact that Hamilton's doing an in-lap. We're being trailed by him ever so slowly. And all I can say is thank God that Vettel had an issue Thank God the fact that Grosjean had a bit of a Grosjean or Maldonado moment and crashed the car. That's been a phenomenal finish for us. I can't believe it. That's going to keep our job. You should have seen all the other cars were much faster. We had to rely on circumstances. Had those things not have happened, thank you to the Motorsport Manager gods, we would be out of a job. Let's have a look at the standings. You know what? I'm interested to see the live timings. Our fastest lap, a 131.9. Hamilton doing a 128. He's about 3 seconds faster compared to Ricciardo and Rosberg. Räikkönen as well. Hamilton that much faster than everyone when he needs to be. When he needs to pull the rabbit out of the hat. Perfect timing for us on the strategy. We're now scrutineering the cars. Hopefully we don't get picked. No rules broken. Thank God for that. Sebastian Vettel's going to finish 11th despite the fact that he got retired because other cars were that much slower coming around. I got the hiccups. This is absolutely insane. I can't believe that. Ugh. Where are we? We're still 4th in the championship, as you would have determined. We're down by 211 points on Mercedes, and that's because the AI have improved that much in the last season. I don't even think 3rd position is going to be possible, given the fact that we're chasing 140 points. 140 points in the second half of the season. That would be absolutely insane. I can't believe Vettel retired, and I can't believe that Rosberg didn't catch up. You know, to think of it, had we not have had that mechanical issue in the pits, we might have actually been able to win that race. Oh, well, not win, but come second at least. It would have been a lot more interesting. But what's the relationship? What's the morale? So the morale for Button still drops by 1.3% despite getting 10th. That really surprises me. Chairman's happy. It goes up from 0% up to 11%. That's happy days for us. Stoffel Van Dorn also improves quite significantly on his traits. He might be the guy to pull in next race if we want to, replace Button, who's underperforming to a little bit here. But yeah, so far so good. Great stop. Thank you so much, guys. And as Capito says to us, excellent result there, Spot. Your job is safe for now. So we need to come 3rd a lot more, or 4th a lot more. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into our video series. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hit that subscribe button, like the videos, comment down below. What do you think? Should I get Van Dorn to start driving in the next race?